Welcome back, chess fans. In today's video, we are take a look in the round 1 of Tata Steel Master being played in Vaikanji, the first and big classical event in 2025 in the Netherlands. So we have the big matchup here. The Netherlands number 1 Anish Giri versus the Gukesh D 18-year-old 18th world chess champion playing his first classical game as a world champion. So in the game, Gukesh has the white pieces and he started the game with knight to f3, knight to f6 by Anish. So this is a Reti opening and g3, d5, bishop to g2 and c5. So here Gukesh just castle and this is a king's Indian attack. So knight to c6 by Anish, d4 attacking the pawn and e6 defending the pawn. So c4 striking in the center and basically transposing the game into the Catalan. So d takes on c4, queen to a4 and bishop to d7 was played. Here in this position you cannot take here because after knight takes here there is so much pressure on this knight. The bishop is attacking, the knight is attacking and also the queen is attacking. So after queen to a4, bishop to d7 just supporting this knight. So d takes on c5 by Gukesh, bishop takes on c5 and queen takes on c4 by Gukesh. So bishop e7 back, so knight to c3, Anish just castle here and e4 just grabbing some important square in the center of the board. So rook to c8 trying to get some of the discovery with this knight. So queen to e2 and bishop to c5, bishop to g5 was played and h6. So in this position, so bishop takes on f6 and bishop to f4, both are the good moves, but in this position bishop to h4 was played. So I don't know this is a bluff or brilliancy, but Gukesh has to give up the piece for 2 pawns after Anish's move g5. So knight takes on g5, h takes on g5 and bishop takes on g5. So basically Gukesh just giving up the knight for 2 pawns, e5 by Anish and e5 is the force move. If you play anything else, something like bishop to b6, then e5 cost you the knight. So in this position a5 was played by Anish and queen to d2, again setting a little bit trap. So in this position bishop to e7 was played. This is the best move. If you are playing other than bishop to e7, something like bishop here, then bishop takes, queen takes and queen takes on d7 is again winning for Gukesh because he is up 2 pawns. So in this position after queen to d2, bishop to e7 was played and bishop to h6 by Gukesh. So king to h7, the best move in the position. You can't save your rook. If you are trying to save your rook by playing rook to e8, then queen g5 check, king to h8 or h7 and queen to g7 is checkmate. So you have to go king to h7 and leaving this rook. So bishop takes on f8, bishop takes on f8 and f4 by Gukesh. So Gukesh is just playing f4 and trying to get some files open for his rooks. After f4, bishop to e6, offering the trade of bishop and knight to b5 was played, just avoiding the queen trade and putting the knight in between both the queens. And now a knight to b4, just trying to put some more pressure on this knight. F takes on e5, your knight is hanging, so knight to g4 by Anish. So Anish is covering so many square in the center and this knight is very good here. So in this position after knight to g4, rook a to d1 was played, just strengthening the knight and king to h8 by Anish, king to h1 and rook to c2, just putting the rook on the second rank and this rook is tremendous. And now Anish is completely winning in this position, but he has to find some good moves into the position and he is completely winning. So queen to f4 was played by Gukesh, just moving the queen out of the attack. And in this position knight takes on d5 was played. So knight takes on d5 is the far best move in this position. And queen to f3. There is so many tactics here. You have to be careful. You can't move like this. You cannot take here simply because after e takes on d5, bishop takes on d5, and suddenly there is so many pressure, so much pressure on this king. The bishop is attacking, the rook is attacking. If you go after bishop takes and bishop takes on d5, then rook takes on h2 with a check, king to g1 and bishop to c5 check, and you are totally toasted here. So in this position, after bishop takes on d5, you can play the rook takes d5, but in this variation, queen takes d5, sacrificing the queen. After bishop takes on d5, rook takes on h2 check, king g1 and again bishop c5 check, rook f2 only move, blocking the check, and bishop takes on f2. This is completely winning again for Anish. After knight takes on d5, queen to f3 was played, just not taking the knight. Queen to b6 was played, but this is something like a preparing move, but this is not time to prepare. Here you can just sacrifice the exchange by playing rook takes on g2. After queen takes on g2, knight g2 e3, and you have the fork, this rook and this queen. The three pieces, the three major pieces are hanging. You can play queen to f3 and knight takes on f1. This is completely winning. So after queen to f3, the rook takes on g2 is the best, but Anish wants to prepare and he goes queen to b6. This is also completely winning for him, but he has to play the precise move. So in this position, e takes on d5 was played by Gukesh, rook f2 by Anish. So this is just again a best move in the position. You can't exchange the rook here. If you take the rook here, then simply knight takes here, king here, and knight takes on d1. And this is losing for Gukesh. So after rook f2, queen to c3 by Gukesh, bishop to b4 and queen to c1 was played. So bishop to f5, just mobilizing the pieces for attack. So queen g5, bishop back to f8, covering this square. So if check is coming from anywhere, then you can cover on the king with this bishop, because knight is covering the square. Queen to h4 check, bishop to h6 blocking, and rook a to d1. So queen takes on b2, h3 played by Gukesh, and h3 is terrible move. It's losing the game instantly. Bishop to e4, finding the best move in the position, and here Gukesh can resign the game or he can play rook takes e4, just eliminating the bishop, but there is a no surviving. Rook takes on f1 check, bishop takes on f1, and queen to h2 is made. After bishop to e4, if you play the bishop takes on e4, then rook takes on f1 check, rook takes on f1, and queen h2, again it's checkmate. So after bishop to e4 and rook takes on b2, knight takes on f2. This is the far best move in the position again, just giving a check, and here king to g1 was played, but you cannot go here. King to h2, then knight g4 check, h takes on g4, and queen takes on g2 is again checkmate. So after king to g1, you should go here knight to g4, and this is completely winning. If bishop takes here, then queen check, queen f2 check, king h1 and queen h2 is again checkmate, and king g1 and a knight to g4. If you take the knight, then queen takes on g2 is mate in 1. So in this position, after king to g1, the knight to g4 is the best move, but Anish didn't find it, and Anish went on queen to b6, and now this position is completely winning for Gukesh. So Anish just blunders the game with queen to b6 move. He has the chance to win the game, but in this position, after queen to b6, Gukesh has the chance to exchange the queen, and he went for, so queen to f6, queen takes on f6, pawn takes on f6, and bishop takes on g2. king takes on g2, knight to d3 with the tempo on the rook and rook to e8, king h7 and d6, a knight to c5 trying to cover this square, but now rook to e5 attacking the knight and knight to d7. Knight just attack the rook and a rook to e7. Now if you move the knight, then pawn push is completely winning. And d7 you can give up the knight here and a rook takes, and this endgame is completely winning for Gukesh. And the final move, rook to e7, seals the deal as black's position totally collapse, and Gukesh claims the impressive victory in the round 1. What a thrilling game by Gukesh, and he is showing his tactical brilliancy, and whenever he gets a chance he can sack the piece and find his way throughout. If you are enjoyed this game, then don't forget to like and share and subscribe the channel for more exciting games. So see you in the next video.